Hey guys, welcome to this next YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of staying in posture, especially when you have a short putt when you're on the course. The most common cause, I think, for a missed short putt is the lack of stability in the stroke. And we're going to talk about how this may firstly cause you to miss and how to stay a bit more stable when you have them short putts. Let's get into the video. So one thing I think you'll notice when watching the pros on the TV, especially maybe if you just watched the Open a couple of weeks ago, is how stable the players stay on every single putt, but especially the short ones. It's super important to just ensure that when we set our posture, we're ensuring that we're locking ourselves in, keeping ourselves nice and still, and just allowing the arms just to work through the ball. If I'm going to be adjusting my spine angle through the putt, whether that's going to mean I am dipping or lifting up, you can see how that's going to move my head up and down. Now when I move my head up and down through the stroke, there can be certain effects which that can cause. Generally, if I move my head down, that can generally cause more of like an over the top move, which can cause that left miss. And if I'm going to be lifting up through impact on them short ones, that can generally cause more of a push because I'm going to be coming out of posture. That can actually cause my path to move more towards the right. So obviously now we know that how moving the head can cause our path and our face to not be delivered square at impact. That obviously means that we need to be ensuring that our spine angle stays locked in, and then as a result our head's going to be very still through the whole stroke. A good thought that I just want you to try and think about is when we're inside, say 10 feet, I don't want you to ever actually see the ball visibly go in. I want you just to try and ensure that you're actually looking down at the ground post-impact. Because then what that's going to allow for is sometimes when we follow the ball with our eyes, that's going to move our head and that can adjust our head and our spine angle position. Whereas if we always focus consciously on keeping the head very, very still through the putt, what that can then do is then that can just allow that putter just to go through smooth, and that's going to lock in our head and our spine angle. So that thought of actually not allowing ourselves to see the ball go in the hole is just going to keep that stability in place. So I believe that's probably the best thought to have in your head when you're faced with these shorter putts. In terms of having a feeling, the feeling of sort of locking your spine angle in is probably going to feel easier if we engage our core a little bit more. So we just feel like we're keeping our core a little bit stronger. If we can engage our core and keep our core stronger, that can lock in that spine angle and then again keep us nice and in posture throughout the stroke on the short ones. So when we're over the putt, if we can just combine the feeling of locking in the core and engaging the core and then the thought of not allowing ourselves to actually see the ball go in, them two things combined was going to keep us very, very stable over the stroke and very compact. And if we're stable and compact, that's going to have a positive effect then on our stroke, because we're going to be pretty solid and compact with our stroke. And if we're solid and compact with our stroke, everything's going to move nice and quick, nice and firm. We're not going to get slow and shaky, and we're not going to be manipulating the path out or in by moving our body forward or back and by adjusting our head position on these short ones. So having that thought and that feeling is really just going to allow us just to be nice and confident on the short ones, which is half of it. If we're really confident on the short ones, then it's going to reflect on into the stroke. When we stand over the short ones and we don't really have any thoughts or feelings and we're just thinking about, oh wow, I've got a short one, I need to make sure it goes in, that could then actually negatively affect our head, get us a little bit shaky over the ball, and that's going to affect our stroke. That's going to put a shaky stroke on the putt, which is going to make it harder for the ball to go in. So if we can have them confident thoughts and feelings when we're over the short putts, that's going to have a much more positive effect on the stroke, making it more confident, making it more compact, making them short ones feel easy. That's another thing that I feel like I notice when I watch the guys on tour is when they have them 3-foot putts, you see the pace that the ball's going in the hole. It's going in at quite a firm pace. It actually looks like on TV that they're smashing it at the back of the hole, which is what we want to get closer to doing. When we miss a short one on the course, it's never going to feel amazing. We're always going to be expecting to hold them short ones, even though it will happen. So just giving ourselves the best opportunity to do that is then obviously going to help us lower our scores and feel more confident on them short ones. And how are you going to feel more confident on them short ones is by having a consistent thought and feeling when you're faced with them putts, being confident with the stroke and putting a nice confident stroke on the ball which is then going to allow it to go in the hole. So I hope you understand that thought and that feeling. Important to have both and sort of understand the difference between a thought and then between a feeling, and try and combine the two to help you out. If you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you next week with a new video.